I believe that radiometric dating completely debunks the theory that a god created everything out of nothing. The Earth is billions of years old, which allows evolution to take place.
You said in your lecture that dinosaurs lived between about 220 million years and 65 million years ago, and the human line started to branch off several million years ago.
That is correct. Verified evidence.
And this timeline is based on radiometric dating?
Precisely. It's a tried and true method for telling the age of things. For example, the unstable isotopes in uranium eventually change into stable atoms, such as lead, and we can estimate how long this process takes. These methods are useful for dating igneous rocks, which are formed when hot, molten rock crystallizes and solidifies. Radiometric dating is also useful for dating the ash layers in which we find the dinosaurs.
Since we can't go back in time to watch these rocks get formed or check the decay rate of these atoms over time, what are some of the assumptions that radiometric dating studies make?
Well, you listed one of them, which is the rate of decay. We can only know what the decay rate is today based on what we observe in laboratories. We don't know what the decay rate might have been in the past or in different Earth environments. We have to assume this. In addition to this assumption, we also have to assume the starting amount of the parent element, like uranium, and the starting amount of the daughter element, like lead, using the examples I mentioned.
Again, we have to assume them to be true when we date things using radiometric dating. And if these three major assumptions are not correct, then the ages we get from the study are also incorrect. What if we took some rocks that were formed in a volcanic eruption, rocks that people actually watched right out of written history, and then dated these rocks? Shouldn't the radiometric dating age of these rocks be the same as the known age of the rock? The age we know for sure because people actually watched the rock form out of an eruption.
Well, that sure seems like a fair way to test it. If the radiometric age of the rock was the same as the known age of the rock based on when people watched the rock form, it would validate the assumptions in the analysis and the process as a whole to be correct.
Did you know that these types of studies have already been done and that radiometric dating missed the known ages by millions and millions of years?
What do you mean?
Several studies have been done on rocks around the world to try to validate radiometric dating, and it fails all the time. In each of these studies, the radiometric age of the rocks far exceeds the actual known ages by millions and millions of years. In fact, I know of an example, if you let me. In the 1980s, Mount St. Helens in Washington erupted and produced all kinds of volcanic material, including rock called dacite, just like this one, and sent it in for radiometric dating. The results? This 10-year-old rock showed ages from 340,000 to 2,800,000 years, all for a rock that we know was only about 10 years old.
Okay, so we can't actually prove it. So what's the biblical idea about the age of the Earth? I mean, does the Bible offer anything better?
Actually, the Bible is very straightforward about this. We have clear genealogies in Genesis, which are even repeated in the New Testament, that go all the way back to Adam, the first man who was breathed into existence by God. He was made from the dust of the earth, not evolved from some ape-like creature. He was given charge over the earth and named everything, including the apes. Within a couple thousand years later, the earth was flooded and all life on earth was wiped out, except those on the ark. This happens to be the same time even secular historians admit that human writing disappears from the face of the earth. A strange coincidence? No doubt. So, the Bible's clear that God breathed creation into existence, with all the planets in order spiraling through the universe in perfect order to sustain life. Days, nights, season, oxygen, it's all perfectly calibrated to sustain life on Earth.